Let's talk about calcium and magnesium. These are the two most common supplements that people take, but there's a couple of little things that people probably don't realize, which is why I want to talk about them in this podcast. So amongst the most common uses or known uses of calcium, or why people take it, are for things like strong bones and strong teeth, but it's also used for muscle contraction, nerve function, blood clotting, and also cell signaling, where magnesium is involved in more than 300 biochemical reactions in the body. And the most common ones that people know are things like regulating muscles and nerve function. It also helps to support the immune system, maintaining a healthy heart rhythm. I know I take it for good heart health, and it assists in protein synthesis and plays a huge role in energy metabolism. Now, I have done a whole podcast just on the different types of magnesiums. That's not what this one is about. This one, I want to talk about the difference, or how calcium and magnesium work together. So if we think of food sources, calcium, straight away, our brain just goes straight to things like dairy, milk, cheese, yogurt, those things, kefir. Dark green leafy greens are a beautiful source. So things like kale and spinach, not iceberg lettuce. Iceberg lettuce has bloody nothing in it. I don't use it. But your deep, dark, luscious greens, they're the ones to go for. So also things like some fish, like your sardines and salmon. If you eat tinned fish, the little bones in the fish, the natural occurring bones in the fish, are actually loaded in calcium. So that is a way that some people choose to kind of supplement from a food source. Where with magnesium, some of my favorite rich foods are things like almonds, pecans, and walnuts, pumpkin seeds. So your nuts and seeds are great. Legumes, whole grains, brown bread, brown rice, brown pasta, brown, not white. White leaches water-soluble minerals like these out of the body. Again, dark green leafy greens. We grow majority of our dark greens here in our own home garden, organic. We know what's in them. Now, dark chocolate actually has magnesium as well. However, you're talking about like literally 5 grams, 1 or 2 little squares a day. Good luck just sticking to that. I know I can't. And also some fish contain magnesium. So things like mackerel and halibut, but there's a lot of controversy around mackerel and heavy metals. So maybe steer away from that. So let's talk about how they work together. Calcium and magnesium interact with each other in terms of absorption, okay? So high levels of one, they work in ratio. I've already talked about copper and zinc, sodium, potassium, those kind of minerals. They work in ratio, and calcium and magnesium work in ratio with each other as well. So high levels of one can kind of block and affect the absorption of the other. So it's really important to make sure that you've got a good balanced intake of both minerals. So how do we know what we need? Well, I'm going to talk about those kind of things in this podcast. So we talked about how calcium is, well, the right amount of calcium intake is crucial for bone health and preventing conditions like osteoporosis. A thing that people forget is that it's not just taking calcium supplement gives you strong bones and prevents osteoporosis. You have to actually be doing weight-bearing exercise to tell that calcium to turn into strong bone. It's a reality. We still have to exercise, okay? So it's also important for how nerves transmit around the body and muscle contraction, where magnesium, it's the calming our nervous system. I take magnesium every day, not negotiable. And I eat plenty of magnesium-rich foods, but I am such a damn go fast. I know that my body dumps magnesium at a huge rate. Well, uses magnesium at a huge rate. So I like to take my magnesium at bedtime because I know it helps to bring me down into that calmer, more relaxing sleep. Now, I have talked about magnesium in so many of my podcasts. So when you get a chance, just go back through Healthy Life Hacks and you'll be able to find plenty of extra information on magnesium. So how much calcium and magnesium do we need? We know they work in ratio. We know they work together. What balance of both minerals do we need to be effective? So a good rule of thumb, all right, this is your general guide, is 2 parts calcium to 1 part magnesium. Now, that means if you're taking 1,000 milligram of calcium, you want to be taking 500 milligram of magnesium. So depending on your diet, and this is where it's hard to give an exact amount to someone unless you're actually having consults in clinic, and we do hair tissue mineral analysis and stuff to see your levels in ratio to each other, which is what we do. I think of my diet, and I'm a big sesame seed eater. Sesame seeds are one of the richest sources of calcium, brainlessly easy to consume. They go in my food every single day. Dark, super dark green veggies, all homegrown, organic. I'm naturally rich eating both of those foods all the time. However, my demands for magnesium are much higher. I am such a go fast. I still have all my breaks in my time and I have my quiet times and things, but I still tend to pack more into a day than a lot of people. And that's my ADHD brain. It's kind of like it's my superpower that I can just get so much shit done. But I just know that I need to keep my magnesium in check with it. So I tend to supplement myself more with magnesium, but I get my calcium from my foods. But I really mindfully eat calcium-rich foods. Nuts, seeds, particularly seeds, are really good. Deep, dark green veggies. So if I think of like the biggest thing to really remember with things like calcium and magnesium is that they are both water-soluble nutrients. So once your levels are up in your body dumps it. It doesn't store extra. And so depending on your demands of a day, the amounts of stress in your life, physically, emotionally, how your gut chemistry is working, if you're getting everything out of your food, those kind of things, your personal demands for those minerals, they are two of the most common minerals that go out of balance with people, and that people do supplement. So it's cool. People are aware of it. But just remember, if you are taking magnesium, think about taking calcium in partnership with it, because they very much work together and they cover so many body systems. It's really important to have them in balance. So what's the solution with this one? Calcium and magnesium, just know that they work together. They're both essential minerals and they need to be kept in balance the majority of the time, like everything. Listen to your body. If you're doing crappy broken sleep, you're generally low in magnesium. If you're having trouble getting to sleep, you're generally low in calcium. Simple little markers like that can tell you that that's, maybe out of balance. If you're really struggling to get to sleep and everything else is going cool, well, maybe you need to take a calcium supplement, and you've been taking lots of magnesium lately, maybe you need to take some calcium, and vice versa. If you're getting to sleep okay, and sleep's just an easy marker with things like those kind of minerals. And there's lots more there's lots more to it. My thing is I like to demystify and simplify the core basics of what health is. That's my mission. So calcium and magnesium are just two of the most, like I said, the most taken supplements. And I use sleep as just one of the easiest markers. If you're getting to sleep okay, and then you're broken sleep, you think, okay, my calcium's pretty cool. I need to up my magnesium for a bit. Simple. It's a place to start. It's not the be all and end all. If in doubt, go and see a pracky, of course, a naturopath. But at least start. Use your sleep as a marker because it's really worth it.